Okay, so this is a Michael's I've never been to before. This is in downtown-ish New Orleans. And I'm going to give you guys a watercolor tour, and we're going to talk about what you should get. And speaking of, should skip this year. Alright, so the first thing to do is to find the art supply department. This one is a new one to me. So it's laid out totally different from what I'm used to. So it might take a minute for me to find what I'm looking for. Aha, I found it. Hiding back here with the yarn and fabric. That's actually kind of unusual because usually it's by the frames instead. And if I sound horrifically out of breath, it's because I'm wearing a mask. Even though I have both my vaccinations, Louisiana is not super great at people getting vaccinated. Alright, so starting with the skips. These Artist Loft kits. I reviewed these a couple years ago. They're terrible. If you're looking for some decent budget brushes, these look really similar to the Black Velvet. I haven't tried them out yet though. But generally, these big packs of Royal Langnickel brushes, not so great. Although eventually, I am going to have to try the Zen brushes out and see how those handle. Oh, the paint aisle. So Michael's has a tendency to be pretty expensive when it comes to art supplies. So I would highly recommend, as always, you shop with a coupon. Unfortunately, Michael's has gotten really weird about how they actually distribute those. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any watercolors other than the 6-piece Daniel Smith Essential set that I'd really recommend. Sakura Koi's aren't bad either. And they have the Koi CAC, but frankly, you see those prices? That's really high. So when it comes to masking fluid, I would recommend you get the yellow tinted masking fluid, although $17.99 is, ooh, yikes. And these masking fluid pins are a lot of fun. I've noticed that the Molotow one tends to die pretty quick. The Pabio one lasts a little bit longer because it has a plastic nib, and you can actually clean that out a bit with rubbing alcohol and some patience. They do have Daniel Smith and Winsor & Newton here. The prices are a little bit high for the size, especially for both of them, frankly. However, both of them are really good quality. If you were to get one, I would probably recommend you get the Daniel Smith. They're made in the US, they come in some beautiful colors, and you get some really interesting granulation effects with those. Now, as for everything over here, these are all going to be student grade watercolor paints. Of these, the Cotman are going to be the best quality, but as you guys will notice, we're not necessarily seeing a price attached to the paints. Oh wait, if you look carefully, here you go, $4.99. That's a little bit more reasonable, especially for a tube that size. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied to you guys. Way up there, $9.99 for that tube, $4.99 for that tube. But frankly, I would really recommend, if you're able to, you shop online or you buy from a local art supply store. You're going to get better deals and you'll be supporting a local business. While not watercolor, the FW acrylics are a lot of fun and fun to ink with. Once they're fully dried, they will be waterproof, but they will not necessarily be entirely alcohol marker proof, since alcohol tends to be a solvent for acrylics. And honestly, brush soap, super duper useful. I use this all the time. However, if you're on a budget, you can use some inexpensive baby shampoo to clean your watercolor brushes. My other favorite aisle, the drawing supplies. So they have the Tombow Furunosuke that I'm recommending to you guys like literally all the time. They are great. They come in multiple colors. They're alcohol marker safe and waterproof. They also have the microns, and whew, they are looking really picked over. So normally over here they would have the Sakura Pigment FBs somewhere, but they basically got like nothing over here. Now, possibly the best buy, like not even a joke, a nice sturdy clear acrylic ruler. This one's actually in imperial, so that would be inches. Most of the ones I have are in centimeters because they're Japanese rulers, but clear acrylic rulers are so helpful. I can't overstate it enough. And the fact that they have the guidelines allows you to really accurately line things up. These are really useful for comic artists And you've got your choice of 2 different kinds, and both of them are really nice and sturdy, so I'm kind of impressed. So while it might be tempting to get your Copics and your Prismacolors here, I would really recommend you shop competitively, maybe don't, or only do so with a coupon, because they tend to be pretty expensive. Now, the Artist Loft markers might be pretty tempting. I have some reviews of them, and it's really hit or miss. They do have a new type that has a foam rubber brush, which is much better than the old fiber nib brush and very similar to the new Ohuhu markers. But if you're getting them in packs like that, you can't actually check to make sure you're getting the foam rubber brush. And the foam rubber brush is the superior way to go, because it's going to last you a lot longer. It's a lot less prone to fraying and turning to mush, and you'll just be happier with it overall. So if you're going to get the Artist Loft markers, make sure you get the kind with the foam rubber brush nibs. Here are some more. Do they have? They do not. And then finally, you're going to need something to paint or draw on. It seems like they're not currently selling the finer, more expensive papers, open stock. Canson XL watercolor paper is fine. It's a decent mixed media paper. It's okay for watercolor. Very affordable though. Their mixed media paper, pretty similar. Very thirsty though. Now, if you like to use alcohol markers, even the inexpensive 300 series Strathmore Bristol is a great fit. I would say though, not such a fan of the 300 series watercolor, but I do use the 300 series mixed media paper for my alcohol marker test, so it's not so bad. Up here we have our arches. Keep an eye out for this. That's what's going to make shopping at Michael's not so painfully expensive. And then honestly, I'm not seeing any of the 500 series Strathmore products, which are the ones that I really like and I would really recommend. And I'm not really seeing, other than the arches, any cotton rag watercolor papers. And while these tiny sets are super cute, you might be better off if you get them and use your own art supplies in them. And I think that about does it for my Michael's recommended shopping tour for artists who got a Michael's gift card or looking to buy gifts at Michael's for fellow artists.